probably is where the wolves were also coming, and they're marking their territory right there. And there's wolf tracks right here. I don't know if I can put it in words, but I think it's kind of a combination of just the interesting animals, very aesthetically interesting, beautiful looking animals, majestic. They have such their relationship to the wild areas and their presence just kind of adding to the feeling of wildness to a place when you see them or see their tracks, or any number of species. I'm sure I could be just as interested in them as well. I mean, in part I think it's just an animal you spend time learning about, and any animal is going to be fascinating, I think, when you start really digging into it and learning about it. So if they're in their territory, one of the things they should be doing is marking the boundaries. So one of the things I want to look for is raised leg urination sites. And it's just kind of a normal travel pattern. It kind of tells me they're just kind of wandering through the territory, searching for kills, looking for prey opportunities, looking for an opportunity to try to catch a deer, and patrolling their boundaries and patrolling the center of their territory. The other carnivores that we keep tracks of, the fishers, foxes, coyotes, bobcats, etc., we're not trying to get an actual count on them. We're just kind of keeping track on them and just getting a general indice. And if we're seeing, like fish, if we see another set of tracks here, we wouldn't pay attention for the next 3/10 of a mile. We're just kind of assuming it's the same animal. But in the case of wolves, we are trying to get an actual count on the actual number of animals that are right here. We saw 2 more there. We think they are probably connected with this group, so there's probably 5 in the group. And maybe later on we'll get sets of 5 tracks all together and say, oh yeah, I kind of... Or is it coming back out, or is it... We had a lot of back and forth. It took a longer time to get wolves. The first proposal for a reclassification by the federal government was in 2000, which wasn't completed until 2003. And that was only a downlisted, which gave the state more management authority, but still had them federally listed as a threatened species. But that was reversed in 2005. Then the federal government came up with a new delisting plan that was started in 2006, finalized in 2007. They were delisted in 2007. Then that was reversed, and they were back on endangered species list in 2008 because of lawsuits. And the federal government revised or modified their language for their delisting rule, came back with delisted them again in 2009, but then hadn't gotten enough public input into that, upgrading their plan, so they went back on the endangered species list in 2009, and then they were again proposing a delisting 2011, which was finalized in 2012. So you have this back and forth with the state has management control, the state doesn't have management control, the feds have them listed as endangered, the feds have them delisted, and I think that back and forth probably created probably animosity toward wolves and probably resentment toward the federal management, federal listing of wolves, and the Endangered Species Act and those kind of things. So hunting is not going to make people love wolves, but maybe allow them to accept wolves more, and most importantly, hopefully causes people to be much more hesitant of illegally killing wolves. One of the things that we looked at was that the period of time when that back and forth was occurring, that it seemed like illegal killing was more likely to occur when they were federally listed than when the state had management authority. That when there was more flexible management in place, people were less likely to illegally kill wolves. Just west of Park Falls, the Log Creek Pack, I've been following that one around since 1990. The Shanna Golden Pack east of Clam Lake, we've followed quite a bit. And the Ghost Lake Pack, I think since I've lived up here, I've gotten to know this pack fairly well.